Whatever. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with the intro, like it got cut short. But welcome to Let's Talk Freedom, guys. Thanks for joining us. We are live, y'all. John, you rolling the intro for us? Because Seventh Ave ain't here.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was distracted because I'm trying to work computer. So many things to mess with.
That boy moving up in the world.
Yeah. No, I'm not. It just makes me realize how archaic I seem. Like everything's off of a phone. I don't understand any of these buttons.
Now you got to learn how to type with two hands.
No, I can type, but
Oh, whoops.
so many little options and shit. I don't know what to do. A minute ago, I turned off my own camera. I don't even know
What we got going on. But let's welcome people to the show, bro. We got an intro, right?
Everybody, thanks for joining us to Let's Talk Freedom. Talk is cheap, but at least the thoughts are free. I'm John, as always. That's Dre. We have Michael coming in for a 7th, which is unfortunately not here again. Work and life and stuff. And we got the bar. We got a small picture going on right now. I think he said, let's. Hopefully we have a decent show for you to enjoy and for us to enjoy. I mean, to be all honest with you, I really don't care if you enjoy it because I just want to enjoy myself. This is my release. I have to enjoy it. Hopefully you guys are just there for the ride. Thank you.
Listen, man, I want to apologize to the people for your brutal honesty. First off. No, but today, guys, we're gonna be covering. We're gonna be looking at privilege. But you know how we do. It's Let's Talk Freedom. 4 different guys, 4 different thinking guys. So you're gonna get 4 different opinions, and we're gonna go deep. We're gonna dive all over the place. Privilege is in a lot of things, but I guess we're just gonna really dig and dive and just figure out what is privilege, who has it, who can get some of it, how can you get some of it. And we also need to pick John's brain about these aliens, because he knows something about some aliens that that he's been telling us, and he's got us intrigued. So we really want to pick that brain a little bit. So where you
jump into it whenever you want, or whenever you guys are really ready to discuss it. But my thing is, I wasn't here for last week's show, and I really missed it. So I missed it. Like I said, this is my escape from everything. So I'm excited about it. So
let's dive in. Where you want to start?
Well, you guys talking about privilege, like which level of privilege are we starting with? Because there's a multitude of levels. Depends on like. First, we got to define what privilege is. Yeah, what is the definition of?
We could be all over the place talking about 4 different privileges.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What privilege is for me? So I'll say first, we gotta for me, privilege. There is the privilege and underprivilege and the overprivilege. There's some things that are rights and there's some things that are privileges. And there's some confusions or some things that are utilized as rights when they're technically privileges. So who's privileged and who's and another thing with privilege again for me, it depends on who you're having the discussion with.
Exactly. Like, okay, so you were talking about monetary privileges, lawful privileges. Okay, because like I was just reading that article about after these what was it, the Capitol protest / riot.
Right.
That happened. they moved to install like metal detectors. And the thing is, now you got to go through security to get into the building.
Okay.
All these members, congressmen, and politicians, they're really focused on a lot of the Republicans just saying like, "Fuck,
Your thing is choppy. Your thing is really choppy, bro.
You know, yeah, you know, well,
Can't really hear. Yeah, you can't really hear what you're saying because your thing kind of chopped in and out.
I don't know how to fix that."
Because I didn't even, because okay, honestly, like Mike, did you get the gist of what he was saying?
yeah.
You did? Okay, so go ahead. Okay, go ahead and and
Say, oh, and I might have just so that it is, you know. But anyway, so one little thing that nobody seemed to talk about in the whole like they let the people storm the Capitol building. It is tradition for public to observe what's going on. So it's not like they couldn't tell people they can't be in there. You know what I'm saying? It just that people gonna brush that shit, but whatever that was. But you were saying something about the privilege.
No, the privilege of some of the politicians, what they're doing is they're going around metal detectors instead of going through the security.
Yeah.
So to me, as just a normal citizen, it shows me that these people that are doing it feel that they're above the law. They have that power.
yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I were to do it, I would get thrown onto the White House lawn or to Capitol Hill.
You get shot right now.
So, but you have these people openly defying the order. And but recently, today, I think Pelosi put in to where she's going to start fining people $5,000 for the first offense, 10 for the second, and so on and so forth. For it comes directly out of their paycheck.
Well,
Yeah.
I thought there was arrests being made. I thought they were like, doing like mass arrests for this thing, like because everything is on video, and your cell phone pings you. So I mean,
I was just mainly talking about as an example of the privilege of some of these lawmakers in Capitol Hill.
oh, okay.
And their abuse of their power and position. You know what I'm saying? Like they're really utilizing their so-called privilege instead of obeying the law. They're going around it, and yet, they're not treated the same way as we would.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I think my voice. I think my voice is a little bit overpowering. I'm gonna try to turn my voice because I'm looking at the levels and it's either you guys are lower or I'm just a little bit too loud. So I'm gonna try to turn down mine a little bit because. It's what? All right. Let's try that. Yeah, sorry about that. Ultimately, though, I think as far as privileged, if we're talking about that kind of privilege, I think ultimately, it's the ones who do all the controlling. Like to me, the privileged are the ones that control the ones that have the money to pay the media, who in turn not even pay the media and the politicians, who in turn write the laws and tell the people how to think. To me, those are the privileged, and everybody else is underprivileged. To me, but that's just the way I look at it.
Well, for me, I look at it like I said, I mentioned earlier that it depends on who. You see, when I'm dealing with privilege and underprivilege, I'm always viewed as from anybody else, even among ourselves, when it comes to us and privilege, our overall standing, we're underprivileged in pretty much every aspect of the overall standing of our existence, economically, politically, pretty much everything. So for me, like privilege has a whole different kind of meaning when you talk about that.
Let me ask you guys a question. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good?
Mhm.
All right. Does is privilege rooted in color? What role does color play in privilege? Like John said, if he was there, they would wouldn't have got away so easy. What can you elaborate on that just a
Okay.
little bit more?
I think. Well, okay, go ahead. You elaborate,
The
John.
reason why I'm even asking this question because if you really look at that crowd that was there wasn't just one demographic there. But majority of it was one demographic, but there were other people there.
So you're okay. So
John.
you're more so the process to where I'm talking about the aftermath of the process. So that's a whole different story, man. I think yeah, if it would have been a whole bunch of black people or Black Lives Matter or anything like that that was rushing the way they were, I think there would have been a lot more fatalities.
I don't think they would have got to the building.
Not me neither. There would have been a whole lot of fatalities though.
But that's the thing. I don't even think it would have gotten to that point. Remember when Black Lives Matter had a rally? What was that? A few months ago or so, and the National Guard was up there deep, and they had they knew that they were coming. Like when I say they wouldn't have got there, they wouldn't have got there. Period. Now, why is that? Because they had. It's not like this was a surprise. They knew people were coming there.
Yeah.
Personally, I feel that they let this happen. The question is why. One of the most important days of the year, one of the most important things happening, and you're understaffed. You know what I mean, as far as security is concerned. But if it was any other group, it would have been a different story. So my thing is, it doesn't look right. It looks fishy, like something. If they didn't want that to happen, it wouldn't have.
It wouldn't have happened. I agree 100%. That's my thing. That's my thing, Devar. I like things to make sense, and when they don't,
It doesn't make sense that they would let that happen. And then they're always showing the same footage.
Okay, so for the mayors, the people that are in charge of the police force, because we know, me and Devar was touching on last week, we know what crowd control looks like. If you ever been down to South Beach on Memorial Day weekend, you see how they shut down the city operates differently.
You mean to tell me on this day they just happened to not have enough people there?
Right. When this was a planned thing.
But this is the thing that I'm trying to make sense of. I'm not touching on that topic, right? It is majority Republican led crowd towards Republican led building under a Republican led administration. So what was the alternate?
It wasn't the mayor of the city. The mayor of the city who was in charge of the police officer, Democratic though.
Yeah, but what like? I mean, I don't know. I don't think like here is part of internal with the people who decide to do that, whether it's spontaneous thing or they say it was organized. But what was the ultimate like?
Of the rally?
No, they were storm the building. They couldn't leave the building.
No.
That
was it. And the thing is, here's the thing. When you look at certain protests and stuff that happened before, where businesses were burning down, whether the business was black or white owned, it didn't matter. They were just burning down everything. When you look at it and you compare to what happened, although there were 5 casualties, if that was supposed to be a takeover, that was one of the weakest takeovers that I've ever seen. If that was,
Okay, so, well, I mean, I just want to get this out real quick. I don't grill you, but have you found it odd the amount of people
They're committing suicide after the riots that were there.
I didn't look into that.
Suicide?
Oh yeah,
Suicide.
I'm of sane mind, a sound mind. I love life, and at no point in now or the future will I ever contemplate or do suicide. If I just get up and dead mysteriously, somebody did it.
Yeah.
All right.
And everybody on this panel feels the same exact way.
Exactly.
I mean, and okay, so I had thought whenever this whole shindig went down that it was an inside job, and then you start.
That's what I'm alluding to.
Yeah, and the more and more you find
How
out,
did they get in?
huh?
That wasn't an invasion. That was an invitation.
Invitation, right?
But so why is it that certain participants after this has all happened have started committing suicide? Why? Are they really?
They got help.
Are they not committing suicide and they just know too much, and they're a weak link taken out of the chain? Like, oh, what is it?
All I know is they want things to go a certain way. Whoever they are. They want things to go a certain way, and they're gonna stop at nothing until it happens the way that they want it to.
Or
And everyone talks about this whole like voter fraud thing. Like, let's just make one thing clear. This is not the first, like, people act like this just happened. There's voter fraud every election. Every election. It's just spotlight is on it now. You know, people are paying attention to it more. And you know, either way it went, people would have been angry. The same ones who are on the Democratic side, had it flipped the other way, there would have probably been same protest, same riot, same whatever going on. You know, my thing is you have people on both sides. It's like they're calling for equality, but really the equality is listen to what I say and do what I say to do. And if you don't agree with me, then we gonna have problem. That's the equality they're talking about. They don't want equality, they want submission. And both sides are guilty of that.
Find a way, 'cause
But that's just my opinion.
Look like we might be having some audio difficulties.
I can't hear. You can't hear me?
No, man.
Can you hear me?
It's okay. Now it's much better. Okay. Just got fixed. So what it was because I was saying on the thing. I think what was going on was you guys was being picked up through my monitors rather than in the actual system. But now it's much better.
so it's good.
Yeah, it's good now. It's good now.
Okay.
Be gone.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah.
Sorry, I was temporarily distracted. My son had stopped in real quick.
No. So excuse. I'm sorry for my distraction for the past few minutes. That's what I was trying to get worked on. But catch me up in the conversation where were you guys?
Well, D was just talking about the way the whole Capitol protest / riot was more so of an invitation than an invasion. And yeah, I completely agree. I mean, they're finding out like there's supposedly 3 congressmen that were helping. A lot of the people were given a tour the day before. Yeah, it's crazy. And yeah, I agree. There's something a lot bigger behind all this. And
So
like-
there was a. Oh, I'm sorry. Finish your thought, man. Sorry.
I'm good. I finished with I don't like it.
Yeah, but you know, we got some time, and we're talking about privileges, and we're talking about what happened and at the nation capital.
Yeah.
And there are lots of conspiracy theories, and there's some facts. I like dealing with facts.
Yeah.
And a lot of things happen where, you know, need some answers. Like for example, doing like when at the end of most normal doing normal end of term, the presidents do the circuits, speaking circuits, and they do these media events and they talk. And there was one statement that was made by the Obama administration where he said, "End of the republic has never looked better." And to me, like that's the head of you know a republic. What does that mean? You understand what I'm saying? And nobody ever like commented on that. And now we're at a time where people are saying that there is a split, a rift in the country where this may very well be a red plus what was red and blue, that purple.
Yeah.
So they're gonna be a new a red and blue, like the certain sect of the two parties are gonna stay over there, and then there's gonna be a split off over there, and they're gonna juxtapose, and that's what pretty much people are looking forward to. So certain questions need to be answered. I'm just saying, I don't know, you know,
It's a very deep rabbit hole. I mean, you can
yeah,
the more you search, the more answers you're gonna find. But I mean, answers are just gonna appear out of nowhere. Like you're gonna start thinking you see the truth because I mean, really, a lot of stuff would make sense when you go down that, and that's the dangerous part about conspiracy theory.
but that you see, this is the thing. For me, it's not like for me, it's not like when first of all, I'm a person who when I use certain words, I use it in the true definition. And when you look at people make conspiracy theories like bad thing or you're crazy when a system lock your ass up and send you away for hundreds of years based on a conspiracy. You understand what I'm saying? You conspire to we're locking your ass up. They don't even have to. It's not even a proof. Conspiracy, one of them vague thing.
Yeah.
And if two people have certain intention and they decide they're gonna plan, that's a conspiracy. And if you start looking at all of these things and certain connections starting to make sense, then you're gonna be like, hey, that conspiracy is now becoming fact. Is what I'm saying. And now when we look at where we're at,
So with all that
pretty much
being
is on
said,
fire.
is privilege the result of a birthright or an association with whatever class is in power at that time?
Before you guys answer that question, comment in the comment box saying that there's a video of a confession of a guy saying that he was paid for the riots in Capitol Hill.
I don't doubt it.
Yeah.
There were some guys who were paid to infiltrate Black Lives Matter protests.
Black Lives Matter protests, absolutely.
But you see, people on the right, they'll look at that and they'll say, "Oh, look at these Black Lives Matter people. Look what they're doing." There's always some bad apples where you go. There's probably people at your job right now that you can't stand. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't mean that it's a reflection on the company. My issue with Black Lives Matter is more from like a economical and financial status. They raised a lot of money, and I don't see how Black people supposedly benefited from that. I'm talking millions and millions of dollars, and there's no trace. And when you ask about it, right now, if you look it up, the local branches of Black Lives Matter all around the country, they're suing the heads of the movement. Why are they suing them? They did all this legwork. All the people on the ground floor, I don't have an issue with because they actually believe in what they're doing. The
Right.
problem is a lot of money is being collected and shuffled around. Where is it going?
So here's
You
my
know?
thing. Here's my thing. The privileged is infiltrated that thing and used people's emotions. You know, because it used people's emotions to make them fight a war, to get them in the position to where they look bad. And I'm looking at it as I understand. I see the same thing happening to with the Patriots. You know, where just like with Black Lives Matter, there's people that's emotionally invested in what they're saying, and what they're saying is true. Because yes, absolutely, we as a people are disenfranchised by police brutality and police killings. That's definitely you can't debate that. But the fact of the matter is, those emotions were played upon, and those protests were then incited because of those people's emotions, and made the whole organization look bad on in the stage of life, because we live in a stage of life. Lights, camera on, lights, camera, action.
Yeah, but the people who benefit most from that, they don't really care that about the emotions of the people. It's more of an energy harvest. And that's any group. Put any passionate group in that category, whether it's Black Lives Matter, whether it's who else, doesn't matter. Any group, there's always going to be those people who are going to align themselves around the energy of that group, and they're going to benefit financially, economically, and there's going to be some kind of monetary gain based on the efforts of the group. And at the end, when it's all said and done, the group, the people on the ground floor, are who get the short end of the stick.
Yeah, absolutely.
Business plan.
Yeah, it's an energy harvest. But the problem is people don't realize that. And then when you tell them that, I had an issue with a guy the other day that, like, man, I heard you don't support Black Lives Matter. I'm like, okay, do I entertain this or do I end it here?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Because it's like you don't understand the angle that I'm coming from with it. There's a lot that has been raised. Here's the thing. If you decide to spend your money with a certain organization, that is fair game, whatever the case is. But if I see whoever it is, it doesn't matter. If you're literally being taken advantage of by a certain group and you don't realize it, I'm gonna try to put you up on game. If you want to stay stuck on stupid,
Hold on a
okay,
second.
fine.
So here's the thing. 'Cause I certain things I always question, right? So this organization is making money. They're complaining about. Isn't this whole thing voluntary shit? And isn't it a 501c3 corporation that someone should pay for operations? So what are they suing for? The facilities, rents, and utilities haven't been paid. Insurance haven't been paid. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Why money is an issue in that thing? They collect donation. The first thing they should figure out is what are you donating your money to?
Right.
And people who are complaining about not getting money, what are you getting money for? Because it is a charity.
Yep.
Yeah, it is a
It has a
non-profit.
.org behind it.
But
I don't mean to derail. Well, actually, I do kind of mean to derail. I think we kind of stepped a little too far away from privilege.
Yeah.
no, so
Well, it kind of still ties in, and then we can move, away from the, concentrating more on the Black Lives Matter and get into like what is privilege itself. But my thing is like I look at it like this: when you're dealing with certain groups, like you have, I think the one possibility why there was less security there is because of the current administration. And you automatically assume that the current administration is there, and you're going there to protest, and I guess you know, what is it? Support your guy,
But
who, if you're a Republican,
wrong.
it happens to be Trump, and for some reason, whoever is in charge of security decides to, oh, these guys are coming, they'll be fine. Everything. Look, when you have people involved in anything, I don't care what party you're in, treat it the same way. There wasn't a consistency there, and that's why they're in the trouble that they're in now. Because it should have been across the board the same way. Whoever's coming there to protest, it shouldn't matter what side they're on. Security should be on the same level, regardless of what group it is. And when the privilege thing comes in, is because I think they just kind of let their guard down, and they automatically assumed everyone was on the same page. Yeah, everyone could support a certain candidate, but you don't know what the intentions of that individual is. Now, when you go to other groups, like we mentioned with the whole Black Lives Matter thing too, it's like you don't know what the intention of the person who is next to you that you're protesting with.
Right.
You may go there just to hold a sign and protest. They may go there and they may be armed. You know?
Yeah.
I just think it was a slip up on their part, or was it? Was it a slip up?
Nah. I mean, my
You know what I
personal
mean?
opinion,
Like
absolutely not.
man, they could hear everything right now. If they want to shut down what we're talking about right now, they could shut it down. How the hell you got people, and those people don't even look like, they look like clowns, man. The dude dressed up and everything. How is it he gets as far as he get? I'm sorry, man.
He was
It
allowed.
just
It's
Yeah,
plain and
they let
simple.
that
He was
happen.
allowed
that's
there.
that's yeah that but to finish on what I was saying about the whole Black Lives Matter and all of that kind of shit and privilege, what I was saying is that how Black Lives Matter got to be hijacked is because certain people who are not black use their privilege of the purse and influence to hijack the movement, and so in turn was able to confiscate the money and do as they please with it and leave the people who are the root of the organization, the people who started it, the underprivileged holding the bag, getting sued right now.
But that's the thing. The people who started it, the one that I'm talking about, the ladies who started it, were they underprivileged?
Hmm?
They have some really interesting connections.
But was it the ladies that actually? Okay, so the ladies didn't start the movement, from my understanding. The movement is an organic thing that started on its own.
Yeah,
These
it was,
ladies decided to make a
and they hijack it.
501c3 out of the movement, the organic movement that was already going on.
So did
And
they play a part in hijacking it?
that's how I feel. I feel that's where the hijack came in.
Another just to kind of, switch gears a little bit. I don't want to beat up BLM too much, but another type of privilege, like remember I was asking, is privilege synonymous to color? The reason why I'm saying that, the incident with Jussie Smollett,
Yeah.
do you feel that he had privilege?
Well, I mean, is that color or is that status?
That's definitely a status
celebrity,
privilege.
so-
Now that brings me back to my question: is privilege synonymous with color or economic status or your association with
Depends on the
whoever
context
is
you're
in power?
using it in.
Yeah, because I mean, like, if you were to trace back everybody to wherever they're historically from,
Mm-hmm.
there's always been people with privilege. Even if, like in China, there's people with fucking privilege, even though they're all Chinese.
I
So-
agree.
So it has no bearing there. Yeah, as Michael just said, it depends on the context of conversation.
Privilege can come in a lot of different ways. Privilege can come from media is privileged. The media is very privileged. I can tell you that now.
And who's okay, the media is privileged.
It's privileged
And-
because media is power. Because here's the thing. You see, when your media is developed,
Uh-huh.
people need you. You don't need them. And everybody wants to use you to use to spread their message. And everybody's willing to give you. When I had radio popping in Boston, I didn't pay to eat. I didn't wait on people's lines. I didn't pay to go in people's places. When artists came to town, they were looking for me. You know, media is power. Like that's privilege to me. That's privilege because they have the privilege.
That's status privilege.
It's status privilege. So you know, privilege definitely comes in all different kinds of different ways. Some people.
Do you think the scary part is now when that power tends to lean in a certain direction, whether it's to the opposition or what the case is? Like, do you think it's the responsibility of media to play a non-biased role in certain situations? And if so, are they doing that now? And if so, why not? If not, why not?
So the old school media guys will all tell you that's an unwritten rule. Sir, like politics, you report on politics and you stay in the middle. You don't offer your opinion. You don't put your emotions into it. You report on it. But that's not what's going on now.
Who does that today? Who does that today?
They don't. Shelley
Besides us, of course, Urban Country Films.
Yeah,
Let's Talk Freedom.
Shelley does it every day. You know, I can tell you that she does it every day. But so there are a few. I'm not going to say there's no one out there that's doing it, right? But in mainstream, there is none.
Mainstream,
right? Because mainstream is controlled. You know,
and you're definitely seeing it play out now. You're definitely seeing that play out now. Like they're not even trying to hide it anymore.
We have to remember. Here's the thing. People forget. Again, I'm a person. I deal with the root of everything. And when you go back to the initial launch of the TV, President of the United States referred to it as this new weapon. He called it a weapon. So if it is a weapon, not because it's not being, I mean, a nuclear bomb sitting in a silo for 20 years, it didn't get fired, but it's still a bomb. So we might get entertainment from it, and our younger generation come and play on the entertainment. But when the system is being threatened, they're going to utilize their tools. Absolutely. And they know how to hypnotize us, these weapons. So, you know, they have the privilege of doing that, because if you look at it, mass media, there should not be a few people control all of what we see, hear, think, and all of that kind of stuff. So right. That's ultimate. Or is that over privilege?
That's overprivileged. Overprivileged.
I don't know.
You know, because it leads to it. You see, it when we were talking earlier about how the sides can get infiltrated, and what it is it's the emotions. Is because you can't critical think when you have your emotions involved. And
who's responsible for conjuring up those emotions?
Well, who else but the media?
I was just about to say, if you look at who's responsible for what's happening right now, Trump, Biden, or that middle ground, the media? Because there's a divide in the country right now. There's hardcore right, hardcore left, and they're going at each other. I remember there was a time where, regardless of your political views, you could, be seen in the same space as someone else. Now it's getting to the point where, it's becoming violent, and both sides have to take a responsibility for that on the ground level. However, who's fanning that fire?
Hold on, we got a comment. Hold on, real quick. The comment says, them folks knew they had privilege. That's how the operation took place. But I would like to know, can you elaborate a little bit? Them folks, what do you mean? Who's them folks?
You know, the people that orchestrated the protests.
Okay. Oh, that orchestrated it, or the people that actually did,
No, that
stormed the
orchestrated.
Capitol? Okay.
Look, man.
Okay.
Look, Trey,
Yeah.
what is your position in urban country films?
As far as as far as on the ladder, as far as what? As far as what do you mean?
Yeah, on the hierarchy ladder. What is your position?
I guess you would call me the owner.
Okay, so you're the owner, right? So you come up with the plan. That plan's going to get executed with VAR, Michael, me, Seventh, Kelly, whoever is coming with you, regardless of who's with you, the plan has already been set in motion. We're just bodies that, fortunately, we all get along and we all contribute to the show. But if I ain't doing shit, you gonna replace me with somebody else.
True.
And that's okay. But it's whoever led that protest had privileged information on how to execute it. The people were gonna fall in line behind the cause. Just like Black Lives Matter. You promote a cause and people will come to it. That makes sense? The plan's already set in motion. As long as
And to your point, listen, I've been in political rallies back in Jamaica. And I know for a fact, I see all of the marking. You get 1,000 people to go somewhere, and all you need is 5. You give 5 people a mission, and you'll be so surprised how easily that 5 people get everybody to move in one direction and do a whole bunch of bullshit easily.
Yeah. Okay,
you go somewhere riled up already, and you see somebody, 10 people want to get in there, and you see 5 people go in, and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And just bum rush.
I mean, they made a.
You don't really need a lot of people to do something like that. You know what I'm saying? But it has to be. No one person is gonna go somewhere and be like, yo.
Yeah, it don't happen like that. There has to be. There's the formula for that.
Go
stuff.
kick the door in.
Right.
You know, so
and especially the way it was, the way it was. So my thing is, if it was an organic thing to where that crowd, because it was a crowd out there. Let's not kid ourselves. It was a real crowd out there. If that crowd, really was the people that actually did what the media is reporting that's being done, that was done.
They're fucking geniuses.
No. They're freaking pussies.
Nah, dude. Hey.
No, they're fucking pussies, bro. Not geniuses.
No, did you see the lady from Tennessee when she was asked why she was crying? She said, because they maced me in my face. And they said, why'd they mace you in the face? They said, because we were trying to storm the building and take it over. And they were like, why don't we
It's a revolution.
Now let me tell you something. Patriots, I ride with you. But if that's your army, y'all need to stay over there. If that's your army right there, that lady on the things crying about they maced me because I tried to go into the Capitol and they maced me in my face. Well, where did you think they was gonna mace you, underneath your arm?
Well, you ain't hear about the dude who I don't know, I guess the guy who was wearing the the Viking Viking thing,
Yeah.
he went in jail and he's hurting right now because he said they don't have organic food.
Somebody's bitch.
I mean,
so he's the Viking, a vegetarian.
That's your army.
He's a vegetarian Viking. What kind of? Okay.
Well, look, man, going back to what Michael said about televisions being a weapon, I completely 100% agree. And that weapon has already been activated. It's been activated since they introduced it. And that is to dumb down everybody watching it and to feed them their own agendas, make us consume more than what we need to, put us in debt. And it's generally, the more TV you watch, the lazier you get, regardless of how you like to think. Is however active you are, something's getting lazy. So with more and more generations of avid TV watchers, now You used to have to go home and catch the TV. So that
TV with you everywhere
we
you go.
got this. We take it wherever we go.
Yeah.
Anytime we get bored, if we got 5 minutes waiting for a bus or for some food,
Listen, man, they have now like the ability, like, and I was touching on that with you yesterday, Dre, the VR type deal
Yeah.
where they have kind of like what do you call them, contact lenses.
Oh, so it's not even like
Where-
glasses you put on anymore. It's just contact lenses.
Huh?
It's not even glasses
That's what
that
I'm
you put
telling
on.
you. They I mean, they have the glasses. They're working on the contact lenses
contacts.
kind of shit where you just click playing a video game at the stoplight.
oh, and you guys, okay, so just to tie in something earlier, all this technology, you really think a guy came up with this shit?
No, bro.
Fuck no.
The
Who?
perfect segue. Perfect
Yeah.
segue.
Who?
Like
Who?
technology.
The
Look, man,
listen.
I personally believe in extraterrestrials. Some of this technology, look, I consider myself to be a very not intelligent, that's for one, but I believe I am an imaginative person. Like I have a great imagination,
You're still a kid.
but I have never once met anybody that can come up with something 100% original that I couldn't find the basis of. And I think that's just the way people are in general. We're limited by our own imagination and we can't create things out of nothing. So all this technology to me is proof of the tinkerings of extraterrestrial beings. Talking about, I can only fathom that you're talking about glasses and contact lenses that you could see videos or connects you to the internet or connects you to somebody else.
Like a VR, like
Connect
virtual
you to
reality.
the internet and be playing with other people in a different place, in a different space.
Yeah.
Yeah, where does that technology come from? Look, man, like I went from magnetic tape strips on a cassette tape,
Who's touching
and then
on this
a
thing?
year after that, I was looking at a CD and having to replace all my tapes. And that, yeah, it's just things that way too crazy, man. That kind of stuff makes me believe even more because
But here you just stop at CD, then it go to an MP3, then it's in the cloud. We gonna walk outside and you meet a shitload of music fall out. You know what I'm saying? Now everything can be stored on the cloud. Like
where's the cloud? Where is this cloud? I want to see this cloud. Why is it called a cloud? Oh, it's in the air. Really? So I'm walking through all your information right now.
You are.
cloud.
But you just touched on it, but you are. But you are, because that's how, okay, and this is new information to me, but it makes sense. And I've been working in it for a long time. Radio waves is frequency. And that's how data travels. That's how, when I speak, it's a wave that's going into this microphone.
It's a
That's being
vibration.
captured by the devices in the microphone to transmit it to wherever else it's got to go. And then the other device captures it and turns it back into something that you can actually hear.
No. The way speaking just works is vibration.
Yes.
Which you are on the right path of frequency. But now when it fucking transfers into data, who the fuck?
Yeah. Fuck.
Like, there is no vibration
For data.
through data. Unless they
ones and zeros.
yeah, it's all fucking matrix fucking clicks and just it's only like two numbers over and over and over in an endless cycle that create everything. Like when they're coding your fucking computer or your phone, they're just using two numbers through the whole thing. Any program you use.
I didn't know that.
And that's why people talk about and segue into another thing where people talk about computer safety. There's no such thing.
What for
Because
safety?
the coder, all he got to do is look at your code, the elements, look at the code and see how you build it and just sit around and tinker with it. But you know, it's funny, Bill Gates and Steve Jobs, I talk about how they did the Apple and the Windows, but I neglected to mention another guy, McAfee. No, McAfee was like, all right, you fuckers, I peep game. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna sell you virus protection, even though you don't need that shit unless you install that shit on my computer.
And you
Now
can-
you're gonna need it, you know, and they lock his ass up behind that. So it's crazy.
And it's also, they say math is the universal language. It's the only true language. And it makes a lot of sense because maybe they've gotten it down to that primitive science of zeros and ones. That's all everything is. But
That's why it's on the Ubuntu system.
yeah, if you look at zeros and ones and then make the comparison that those zeros and ones represent energy, because everybody knows energy can't be destroyed.
Right.
So philosophically, you could be correct. If we're walking through endless amounts of data, we're actually walking through energy. I can get that. But who the fuck comes up with that concept?
Right. We don't.
I'm just making shit up right now.
But then again.
And who has access to it? If you
the
if
privilege, because here's my thing. Here's my thing. You can look at ancient times
Mhm.
up to now, and you can say that we've been advancing technologically, right? But then you
regressing.
look at, like, for the pyramids. of course I'm gonna
technology's
bring it
been
to-
advancing.
right, huh?
You need it.
But
Technology's
when you-
been advancing. People have been
Yeah,
Regression.
but that's the
Regressing.
trade-off.
I think that's the thing. I think we have our minds have been we've been getting dumber and dumber and dumber and dumber, because how could we have pyramids here still can't figure out what's going on, but we're advancing? We're not advancing. Technologies might be advancing, but
Aliens, man.
the perfect example of that is, remember, majority of people used to memorize numbers. You could put a face. You see all these faces on the screen?
Mhm.
Back in the 80s, 90s, I could, oh, Dre, I know his number, and
Yeah.
you say the number. Oh, John, I say the number.
I don't even know my
Michael, I
wife's
could
number,
just
bro.
say the number. Now,
Hmm.
name one number. I only memorize one number. That's my wife.
Hey, what's crazy is that at work, I could be like, hey man, this is John. And they're like, oh, what's your tech number?
Yeah.
They don't know me by my name.
No. No. You have a number that's associated with you with everything that you do, especially here in the States.
Oh,
That's-
from you,
Card
when
is.
you're born, you're issued a number. You
From
know,
your born,
so
yeah.
it
As soon
follows
as you, from your born, yeah.
Even if you use it or not, it follows you around everywhere you go. Okay, so
Aliens, bro. Alien.
alien.
So,
Man,
Hey man.
I have. Did you you didn't look at the YouTube thing when I sent it to you?
who, me?
Yeah, but you remember back in 2013 there was a blue swirly light over Fort Lauderdale Airport. You and I talk about it briefly, but I have it because somebody had called me. They were going to the piers and they were asking me for directions. So they had me on speaker and and person brother was videotaping and had the thing videotape the blue thing, the blue swirly light just over the airport. You know what I'm saying? You know, people. Yeah, you're about to say something.
No. I remember that.
Yeah,
So who the fuck?
I have the video.
To
You
have
have the video?
Huh? Yeah,
You
I
said
have
you
the
have the
video.
video?
It's on my YouTube. Yeah.
That's what you said. You sent it to me?
No, when I gave you access to the YouTube, so.
Oh, yeah.
one of the
No, I
videos
didn't
on
check
there,
it. No.
So,
Mm-mm.
yeah.
Mm-mm. But I
Yeah,
mean,
man,
but on that note, isn't there some John? Isn't there some kind of language tied into the last stimulus bill that was tied about
Yeah.
extraterrestrial.
Yeah, when it got passed, the Pentagon had 6 months, 180 days to release all information about extraterrestrials. Who does that? If everybody knows aliens are fake, why release the information?
But
That makes then you sit there and think about
And
space.
then you have a general in the Israeli army that came out and says
Yeah, that the existence of UFOs.
we've been working with them for a very long time, and
Trump was about
everybody pretty much know.
and he even said Trump was almost told people too soon.
But like it's
Yeah.
like it's like we alluded to. We're not even alluded to. We touched on one of our previous shows. By the way, guys, check out urbancountryfilms.com. Go to the scroll down to the Let's Talk Freedom page, and this is where you can find all the previous shows that you hear us talking about. That's at letstalkfreedom.com. And while you're there, if you are a content creator and you like what we do and you would like to join our team, it's all about support here. It's really all about support and moving to the next level together. So just hit us up under the free website design. Put your information in. Go ahead and send us a message. Let us know a little bit what you do, and we'll get to you. We have a lot of exciting things coming up. Right on the border of some very exciting things. But that's urbancountryfilms.com. I'm sorry, John. Go ahead.
No, you're good, man. Just wanted to finish what I was saying, and that was Trump issued and got a space force.
Right.
Why do you need a space force? Who needs to police space? What are you afraid of? That motherfucker found some shit out, got scared, and said, he started putting into position. That's the only way it makes sense to me. You don't need space police unless you have space threats or what you perceive to have as threats in space.
But then again, it could be. Vicky, hold your thought, because one second, I definitely want to hear what you have to say on that. But it could be too that I'm just gonna put funding towards this, but I'm gonna call it that. Because there's a lot of that going on too. You know what I mean? I'm gonna call something X in order to get the money. Because when you hear space police, you think, okay, we're going out and fight something. That doesn't necessarily have to be. In my mind, that doesn't necessarily have to mean that. We have a space force because they're not even called soldiers; they're called guardians.
Okay, but here's one thing. Why is it a new branch of the military?
I mean, why did he do a lot of things that he did? Why are they trying to impeach him with 8 days left? I mean,
you don't send astronauts to war. NASA doesn't send astronauts to war. We don't send veterinarians to war. We send a particular job title to do the job. So if Space Force is a new branch of the military, it is still the military. What is the military's job?
Protection, apparently.
By force, if necessary.
Yeah.
Who? We already have.
It could be for protection, but it could also, like, protection could be under the surface. It could also be for invasion, extraction. Maybe there's something out there they're trying to bring back.
That's like I say, I deal with facts, right? And I'm not going to put nobody's name out there, but a person had certain questions, and that certain person understand that within the aerospace, there's only so far commercial planes can go after a certain elevation. It's military space. You're not supposed to go up there, but have connections and pay for a ride or get a ride on a plane. And on the whole flight, roll a camera from runway to takeoff, and the whole time have the camera on the sun when the thing go up, it hit the clouds. You see the camera, you see the sun. There's a blanket of clouds, and the sun look like a big orange orb through that cloud, and the plane keep going up, and then it break through that, and you're looking back down on the cloud, and you look like a blanket. It's pan back up onto the camera, onto the sun, and you see the sun. It's a tiny little blue ball with a black thing to the southwest of it. What is that? You understand what I'm saying? Like, this is not something that it's a conspiracy. It's something that, even though videos can be doctored and all kind of shit, but I am 90% sure that that's authentic.
Well, I had read somewhere, and I'm not a fact checker, so whoever's watching this, just Google this shit, please.
Google.
But I read somewhere that Buzz Aldrin, one of the first crews to land on the moon. Well, the only really real crew, but he talked about later on in life that he was contacted. They were contacted. They met something in space that told them to leave. This is just stuff that I've read.
And they're not supposed to go to the dark side of the moon.
Yeah.
And now China all of a sudden putting shit on the dark side of the moon.
Yeah. Turn around and go home. Who tells you to turn around and go home?
Their bases up there.
Yeah.
But
There's
that's
bases
just
where?
on the
Dark side of
moon,
the
they
moon.
allege. But then, which kind of makes sense because NASA just did an ad campaign where they're talking about the next generation of rockets, and the moon is large, and they already have like stations
The moon is
on the
what?
moon,
The moon. You're
a
froze
launch
on that
pad to Mars.
one. So and on that thing, right? I want to know
Yeah.
how comes, like how we were talking about us progressing or regressing. We landed on the moon in the past,
Allegedly.
but we lost the technology to
Because it
do
was an
so
accident.
again.
Lost the technology.
That's how it was reported. We lost the technology.
That's
Technology,
that
because they didn't,
that
they
whole
know we
thing
wouldn't
right
come
there.
around and think.
That whole thing right there that you just said remind me of what happened in the Capitol. It just don't make no damn
It
sense.
don't make no damn sense.
The average dumb phone, not even the smartphones, the average dumb phone had more technology than the rocket that went to the moon.
Yep.
So if back then they have dumb technology and they made it to the moon, you're telling me now that you see the technology that is in the smartphones. If back when they were when they were launching the rockets, if they had that technology in a building, that building would probably take up 4 city blocks. They have to have big old servers and all kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's just that they know people. We went to the moon. Anybody who discuss it, it don't really matter to them. That's the other thing people have to understand, that when they do shit, we're the underprivileged. They don't really give a shit what we think.
Well,
They know we're gonna discuss and debate, and they continue doing their shit.
it's continued proof that there's aliens, because if we have more technology now, and I'm being facetious and sarcastic right now, but if we have more technology now than we had then in a dumb phone, that can only lead me to assume that whatever's controlling the moon has become technologically advanced too.
Or was it always?
Always.
Yeah, maybe they saw us and was just like, nah, man.
Maybe we just catching up to all of this.
We're just like people don't realize that technology that we have. When
Is
you
a
look
drop in
at
the
some
bucket?
things, you cannot deny. I seen shit. I was sitting out in Houston. I'm a traveling tech sometimes, and I'm sitting out in Houston, looking off towards the west. One Friday evening, everybody out there, we just chilling, about 10 of us sitting on a second floor balcony having different conversation. But because I'm always like the odd dude, so I just sit down. I don't really. I'm sitting there and I'm watching these two objects in the sky, and I'm like, now if I alert these people to this shit, they're gonna be like, yo, there you go with your craziness. So I'm just gonna sit here and watch it, and I'm watching it, and then I'm like, enough of this shit, yo. And I said, yo, we're gonna assume that thing right there for right now. We're gonna assume that's a helicopter. Right? We all assume that's a helicopter. Like, yep. All right. What is that? And that caught everybody's attention. Like, what the hell is that? And we
Yeah.
looked at it, and then everybody now start focusing on the helicopter. And it's like, and that shit ain't no helicopter either. What is that? And it moving, so it's here, it's there, it's all over the place.
No.
And, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was gonna
Yeah.
ask. So if aliens are confirmed, right? Like it's an
Yeah.
undeniable truth. If it comes out that way, what happens to religion?
Well, here's the thing. This is the thing, and this is kind of, well, it's not kind of deep, but when it comes to religion, there are certain things that people need to really come to terms with. And a lot of people, when it comes to that kind of stuff, they're mentally stuck in one way, a belief, and all of that kind of stuff, and they're not going to be open to facts. But if anybody who's of like a Christian faith, for example, or a true Christian, they would want to read the book of Enoch. And if they read the book of Enoch, then they're gonna get the understanding that the Bible talk about this shit. They talk about things from unworldly beings. We're dealing with, like, when they talk about angels and all of that kind of shit, it's not no damn supernatural ET thing. They're what we consider angel. They come in different kind of form. Some of them was supposed to help us out with shit, and some of them was supposed to just, they're what you call watchers. So I'm saying, and some of the watchers came down and gave us technology and caused us to destroy shit. I mean, technology is a result of a nuclear bomb and all kind of shit. So those are alien, if you want to call them that.
Yeah, no. So I was gonna say that
One and the same.
so God is proof, or religion is proof of aliens. I mean, because just look at the way God handles himself. Okay, so Mary had immaculate conception, but we also read about stories of abductions with no remembrance and being dropped back off into a cornfield. We have voices that people hear through different wavelengths. And then in the Bible, you have a burning bush talking. I mean, there's a lot of comparisons that could be like, hey man, that sounds like some alien shit.
Shit, whale, fish eat dude go in the belly of a whale. Now
Yeah.
remember, if you like,
That sounds
I
like
look
some
at a
magic
lot.
mushrooms.
Yeah, but no, look, you have to understand. Look, there's some videos or documentaries about people in Africa coming across to the slave ship. And when they first saw the ocean, they're like, oh shit, we're all gonna die because the ocean is burning, it's boiling up, because they never seen the ocean before. Now imagine you on the ocean, you just chilling one day and Jonah just out there fishing, standing in knee-high water, and a submarine just pull up, because we like to believe that shit that we're seeing is new. You understand what I'm saying? And we cannot, like, you see the hieroglyphs or whatever on the pyramid walls where you got, or wherever they have them with winged creatures.
I can definitely have a great conversation with this. Yeah, not just with Egypt, but through all ancient civilizations. You have the Mayan spacemen. You got paintings and stone carvings of what looks like a guy in the cockpit of a UFO, like a rocket. Dre, if you can you Google the image of Mayan spaceman
Mayan
and then
space-
share it?
I will.
Dre,
1 second.
I guess Dre's.
Yeah, Mayan spaceman. I'm on it. I'm trying to pull it up. Mayan.
Yeah, man. It's so
But sorry. But yeah, the Mayan spaceman. We're okay. So like, as somebody pointed out earlier, you have the pyramids of Egypt. Well,
Yeah.
to build those pyramids, you can't build them in fucking darkness. They had also figured out how to use electricity with like
But that's what I'm saying. Like, if people
batteries.
if people read the book, it tells you like who. It tells you it don't go into like, why don't you build a pyramid, but it tells you who were involved in that area when the pyramids were built.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then it made correlation to things that happened because they fucked around with energy and did shit that caused this whole planet to get destroyed. And people like to feel like, we're safe. We got nuclear waste that is being generated every day by a nuclear power plant that we cannot destroy. You know what I'm saying?
Even further into that. Okay, so yes, nuclear capabilities is devastating. It could end all life.
Yeah.
That's my what's it called? My
But
everything
there's
froze.
also this thing called I believe it's called the Boston-Higgins.
Yeah.
And where they take a little particle over here and they take a little particle over here and they super accelerate them and they bust. And that's the theory of how the universe was created. So why are you doing the exact same thing on an already established planet? What if it works?
But that's the whole thing. They came up with the possibilities of shit that could go wrong. And the shit that could go wrong outweighs the potential. And they're like, go ahead with it anyways.
Yeah. I was listening to a different podcast and I'd seen the article that correlated it. But like China's been on the verge of trying to create an artificial sun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Trying to create one, or
They create one while Bill Gates is shooting aluminum particles in the sky, blocking out the sun. Like, what the fuck? What are they up to?
What happens when those aluminum particles angle in just the right direction? Because I can start a fire with the bottom of a Coke can.
Yeah.
So I mean, I understand that he says that.
So you live in the East.
Yeah.
Every morning when the sun rises up, like these solar panels, every day when the sun rises up, there was a building in New York that they complained because after they put up the building and make it all glass, they didn't realize like every day the sun hit that building and it just keep the reflecting mirror thing on a certain set of building all day.
Yeah.
I got that picture up for you. I got that picture up for you, John. It took forever because the computer froze.
Oh, okay.
Thank God we didn't lose the stream, but it's up now. But the Mayan picture you was asking for, the Mayan spaceman.
Yeah, where is it?
Mm-hmm.
It's up. You can't see it, but it's up on the screen. People can see it.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I mean, if you could see it, you can obviously describe it. I've seen it.
So honestly, it's definitely a spaceman, and it's more than one. Is the if if you flip through it, hold on. There should be a way here. Hold on. Let me try to share the screen. Yeah, I can share the screen. Hold on, and then you guys can see it too. Right? You guys can see that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. Yeah, I mean it's obviously a spaceman. If you look at the next one, it's like these aren't the two same pictures, are they? Like this one, I don't want to flip through them because I don't want the computer to try to do too much and then we lose the stream. But
Yeah.
you know, you guys can pull this up on your own. All I did was Google the Mayan spaceman. I'm using Bing.
Yeah, no. Look, you can see my screen. This is the one.
Hold on. I think I gotta allow
Well, hold it. Yeah, no. I'm gonna hold it up on my phone, so I don't lose you. How do I make it bigger? Yeah, help me out. Check that. Hold on, my son is playing my technical assistant.
Shout out, John.
You say hi. I can hear you.
We good?
Yeah. Oh, look, we got Shelly Speaks entering the.
I mean, I guess I could just hold it closer up to. Oh,
We're gonna teach John how to use the computer and screen share it.
amen.
Why don't you ask John? Why don't you ask John how to do it on the computer? He knows how.
All right, hold on. See that?
Oh, you're talking about a complete different one. Okay.
Yeah. What is
The one where he's sitting in the rocket like he about to take off.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he got on a spacesuit, the breathing apparatus, all of that kind of shit. There's another one. That's the one where he's sitting on the rocket. There's one where he's sitting in like a spaceship on the launch pad, vertical.
Yeah, I mean, in every ancient civilization has these creatures or beings that come from an unknown. I mean, come on, man. Really? What's up, Shelly?
Hi, Shelly.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Hey.
Good.
Now, I
There's
just want
some
to ask,
interesting
like,
stuff being talked about tonight.
What did you say?
I said there's been some real interesting stuff talked about tonight.
Yeah, we're all over the place as usual.
Just privilege and aliens. Aliens and privilege.
Do you believe in aliens?
but I'm
Shelly?
saying though, like, if we talk about aliens, we gotta how often you walk and stop and look at an anthill? Like, oh, what's them ants doing over there? You know what I'm saying? If you have the technology like to traverse the universe, you think you're gonna I think the only time these aliens, because there are also reports, like declassified reports, that every silo or vessel that holds a nuclear weapon was visited the minute after they dropped them through nuclear bombs. Like they just show up and just shut shit down. Like, yo. So I believe that they're guardians who
In their own right.
have certain interest in this real estate, but they tolerate the population and check us when we do something threatening, and there are evidence in
Threatening
like
to who?
the
Them?
whole
Threatening to who?
the planet and the whole balance, and they I also believe, based on how, because we are like we mimic things in traditions and try to figure shit out. And when you look at how we are very, very interesting in trying to merge human things, they clone, mutate, all kind of different unnatural mutation. It is fair to believe that these entities infuse their genetics in some human-looking people, because in the old American Medical Association journal, they published years ago that there's certain strand of DNA that they can trace when it was inserted into the human genetics. So conspiracy, aliens, I don't know, but they're based on what's going on. I'm inclined to believe, because some of the stuff that we do as a human being, I cannot even begin to imagine how you come to that decision.
Well, you know, there's a small percentage of people to this day that carry an unknown, unidentified marker of DNA that can't be traced back to Neanderthals or what is the other one? Uh, Denisovians, whatever those things are called. But those are the two earliest genetic sequences or DNA sequences of man. But there's a third one, and a small percentage of the population actually carry that DNA marker. So where is that? Who's that from?
Good question.
What you got for us, Shelly? What do you think?
um, hmm, man. Well, I think that is kind of, I think it's kind of arrogant to believe that we're the end all be all. Like I tell people all the time, if we're the end all be all, we're in trouble. Because I just don't see it. And I welcome the idea of there being something else out there. And, I'm waiting for the day that they truthfully reveal themselves to us. And
I don't know if they will. I think we ruin all.
Well,
no,
I think
I don't think so. I don't. And I think that
I think we're like the virus of the earth.
well, I think that
when you say we,
begin,
you have to talk about, you have to be specific. Like I said, there are
You're right. You're right.
there are a significant sect of the population whose DNA is not, it's mutated, not mutated, but it's artificial basically. It's a splice. And the American Medical Journal, they said that it was such, and it was originated a certain coal place.
So
You know what I'm saying? And as a result, the thing run awry, and back to your point of religion, the Book of Enoch speak on certain things that if you're a questioning person, you're like, okay, so how is this where for example, there was an eclipse in 2017, and there's going to be another one in 2024, and that eclipse only traversed the United States from east to west. It stopped the longest. The apex was over a place in Illinois that have a city called Little Egypt. Once every 27,000 years, that should happen. Nobody alive ever witnessed that. And the next eclipse of that nature is going to come from Mexico, and it's going to apex the same place where it did the last time, marking an X in 2024.
So, real quick, since we're touching base on aliens and religion, and I'm just going to sprinkle in a little philosophy. So, you seem like you know a lot about religion. So, who has dominion over the earth?
In terms of,
like God, the devil?
oh, this is the devil's. When he have a falling out with God, God tell him that you cannot come back. You rule down there. You stay down there. You and your minions stay down there. So
okay.
Even if you listen to, even in the book, Jesus referred to the devil as the prince of earth.
Okay, so with that being said, if what Shelley said, about being egotistical and just thinking we're the end all be alls, what Lucifer get cast out of heaven for?
Huh?
Well, what was Lucifer's biggest downfall? Wasn't it vanity?
No. You see, this is the thing that people don't understand. People got to read the book. So let me finish, and I'll tell you why Lucifer got kicked out of heaven. So, in the book of Enoch, they talk about that. They talk about there's certain things, turmoil, tribulations, gonna happen within the 7 years of those eclipse. And in the book, it says certain people, the children of the Most High, should get their affairs in order before that other X mark the spot. Now, why is there a book that is associated that the Bible is spun from have all of these things? There's a tribe in Africa called the Dogon tribe, where when they first encounter with white people, they look at them and like, oh, they're doing this weird ritual, and they said that they're they are from the Sirius system in a constellation, in the Orion constellation, where there's a constellation called the Hand of God, where they can plot exactly where it is. And those people tell them that they're crazy until a few years or a lot of years later when they invent the Hubble telescope and they can't see the hand of God. They haven't had the technology. They recently did that, but they could see the Sirius constellation, and they're like, oh shit, how did those people know it? Because they have no technology to know, and they say that's where they come from. Now, to talk about Lucifer and his fall, see, people, the Bible, if people get the more people are finding out in about it, they're diluting it, the book of Enoch and all the other books. But Lucifer, he had a problem with us. And it stemmed from the watchers who were supposed to watch and report to the archangels what goes on in the affairs of man. The one thing that us as human have, you see, everything happened under a code. And when God made us, he gave us a certain privilege. And the privilege is we have the ability to say, yeah, I'm gonna go down there with you and I got you and I'm rocking with you and I changed my mind at the last minute. No other entity can do that. The devil, the angels, all of them, they don't like us, but they have to follow the rule of the Most High. And the devil is like, oh, to hell with all of that. I'm gonna go down there. I'm gonna show them about fire. I'm gonna tell them about science. I'm gonna tell them how to build shit, do shit, mine, do all kind of shit, splice gene, all kind of weird shit. So that's how. But what happened is in the midst of that, there was another demon, because you have spiritual entities and you have demon. The demon are the spawn of the devil, and the spiritual entities are the co-mingling with the watchers and earthly being. You know what I'm saying? And birth the Nephilims. And the one thing when the Archangel Michael brought this to the Lord's attention, the Most High, he was like, all right, I'm gonna send Gabriel down there to destroy shit. We're gonna tell Noah to build an ark. In the book of regular Bible, it says 2 of each animal went on the ark. When in the book of Enoch, it's specifically, it says that it tells you exactly who. And when you read the regular Bible, it tells you Noah and his family and 2 of every animal. In the book of Enoch, it tells you before it even get to the Noah and his family, tell you about the king. The king only can bring 2 members of his family. The 2 strange men, some religious people, the baker, the man who tills mill, the man who chopped wheat, the man who herd cattle, the man who did this, and the DNA of all creatures flying, crawling, and swirly shit. So they talk about that, and then they open whatever they did. And then the souls are the entity that the spirits and the demons, they can't die. So they stay here and they influence people who like to mess with shit they don't know, and they get influenced, plus they have some of their entities that survive. And that's why we're having a problem right now, because people don't want to face the truth that there are certain people that are not really real. They're artificial. They're experiment. They're what do you call it? In vitro or gene splicing, things that we're doing right now. They've been done. If you look at the pyramids, and I get y'all back to get out of weird land. But if you look at the pyramids, where you got jackal human body and jackal heads, that is not a figment of imagination. I work around a lot of artists. You know what I'm saying? And people draw when they're like, when you see like a statue sitting on the pyramid, and they're like 200 feet or however big, and then you have somebody who's like a third of the size, and you got other people. The Nephilims were the big ones, and they use magnetic energy to build the pyramids. And the pyramid is, it's in the Bible, the dimensions of the pyramid refers to the dimensions of the throne of God in the kingdom of heaven. And those fuckers that build it say they're building their throne on the kingdom on earth for their master, which is Lucifer. That's why a lot of people like to go fuck around with shit that they don't understand it. You go there, you get some weird energy and all kind of things, because that's what it is. It has no real human, like, it is pointing directly to one on the moon and one on Mars.
Nobody
in a
on
straight
this
line.
stream, nobody on this stream has any kind of suicide intentions. We all
Nope.
love life, and
Yep.
we're gonna live it to the fullest. And no one here.
But people should check out the book of Enoch now. It explained a lot of things, and you compare the Bible with it, and a lot of things make a lot of sense and open you up to a lot of questions. Like, okay,
What's next? Yeah.
now when you're looking into something and you're seeing somebody saying that this is going to happen, this, and this time, and remember why. That's why they created the we call it Julian calendar, and they keep manipulating time and shifting time and stealing and doing all kind of stuff so they can confuse us. But 2020, you know, it's the real, or was the real 2012. And that whole, I don't know if people they heard about the and I told you about this earlier, as above, so below.
Before you go there, because that's a whole nother conversation. Let's go.
Y'all went to the rabbit hole of aliens, man.
Huh? No, it's all in aliens,
aliens.
but let's go to Shelly Speaks Truth real quick, because she has a segment that we need to get to.
Okay.
What do you got for us to speak, Shells?
Well, I want to just give you guys a little preview of what I'm going to be talking about on my show Sunday. And I wanted to get everybody on the panel's perspective about this, because what I'm seeing right now and what I'm realizing, especially on social media, a lot of families are distancing themselves from each other. And I think that it's the influence really of social media with all this cancel culture and cutting people off and just dropping people at just dropping people at a moment's notice. It's starting to leak over into our families. And just to, kind of rehash the conversation about the Capitol for a couple of minutes, something that stuck out to me in the midst of that situation was a woman that was actually turned into the police by her daughter. She was exposed by her daughter. And my thing is, are we losing the sanctity of family? Like, if that was my daughter, honestly, it would have been a problem. There would have been some issues, because yes, she may not have agreed with what her mother was doing out there, but it's not like her mother was there. It's not like she killed anyone or she beat somebody across the head or seriously injured somebody. So what is it, why are we like this nowadays? Why are we turning our back on our families so swiftly and, cutting them off for the smallest things? A lot of people, they will cut their family off and not speak to them for a long period of time over the smallest things. And my thing of it is especially in this time, in these critical times, we really need our family. We really need to stick together. We really need to be coming up with ways that we're going to continue to communicate with each other throughout this. I know right now everybody's home because of COVID and things like that. And we haven't seen our family in a very long time. But where do you all think this is coming from? All of this, I haven't talked to my brother in 5 years, and I'm not going to take the push in that direction to open up a conversation. I'm not going to try to hash things out with my family. Just a lot of people cutting their family off. And a lot of these things, in my opinion, they can be resolved with just a simple conversation and opening the door to communication. But again, like I said, I feel like a lot of people are getting on social media and projecting and just wanting people to be miserable with them and kind of convincing people that it's okay to not need anyone. And, I don't need any friends. I don't need no new friends. I don't need my family. And honestly, to me, I feel like that's really a cry for help. And again, I just feel like, especially in these critical times, we need to be trying to make amends with our families and not being so quick to just cut them off and excommunicate ourselves. So, how do you guys feel about that?
Javar, you want to take that?
Um, I think a lot of it has to do with a lot of that was fueled by the political state that we're in now. Like I've never seen people take, the politics so serious to where, I always say this. Nowadays people are letting two men who they'll probably never meet in their lives ruin relationships with people that they've known their whole lives. And it's like it shouldn't be that serious. Like people are really arguing, coming to blows, it's getting physical. And I'm like, I look at it like an energy harvest. Your all of your energy, all your creative energy, everything that you have, it's being harvested from you, and someone's benefiting off of it, but it's not you. You really have to be careful with what you put your energy into because it grows, and it could grow positive or it could grow negative. And right now, you're in a state to where um there is this divide, but social media has also fueled a disconnect from reality. You know what I mean? Like there's some people have 5,000 Facebook friends, but they don't know who their neighbor is. And I grew up in a world where it's like, if my parents are going out of town, we used to stay with the neighbor, and there was a different type of trust there that's just not there now. It literally doesn't exist. You know what I mean? Um, where we more live in a digital world than in the real world. How often do people, actually go and visit each other? We don't know each other anymore outside of social media profiles. And that's, no way to live. So I could see this young lady um turning in her mom. She's been influenced by the society that's around her. There wasn't a connection with her mom. Mom was probably instead of playing mom, probably playing the role of like trying to be her friend or trying to you get what I'm saying? Like it's
Mhm.
just different. It's just different now. I don't know how we get that back, and I don't even think that's coming back. You can when I say coming back, I'm talking about generally speaking. There's things that you could do in your own house to make sure that your connection with the people around you is solid to where stuff like that doesn't necessarily happen because if here's the thing, if you're close enough to someone, maybe if their relationship was a little bit better, maybe they wouldn't have been there in the first place.
I think
You know what I mean? Like what made them go there, and then what changed in the daughter's mind to make her turn into mom?
I feel like I feel like
Right.
we're living in a perfect storm. Um, Along with everything that you just said, we're at the height of our emotions being played with, because like we spoke about earlier, the privileged control which way the masses flow as far as their emotions go, you know. So with the fact that we're disconnected with people. It's easy to disconnect with people right now. It very, because of Corona, it's very easy to disconnect with somebody. I mean, physically, right? It's very easy to say, I can't go to fam's house because I don't know what kind of circle fam is in, and I gotta see grandma every Monday, so I gotta make sure, you know what I mean? It's easy to do that right now.
Mm-hmm.
That plays a part, I believe, and between the fact that all our connections, not all our connections, but the majority of our connections are right here, and like we spoke about earlier, this controls it controls emotions. I can't explain it, but there's something with the dopamines and the shit lets off shit that triggers shit in your brain that's addictive, that makes you want to keep on coming back. And no, it really does. I mean, I'm not a scientist, so I can't give you the scientific terms, you know what I mean? But it's really, the research is out there. You can do it yourself. I research on what we're doing. Like that's where my focus is. But at the same time, it's a perfect storm because we can't critically think anymore on a big whole, because we're always emotionally this way or emotionally that way, or Christmas time comes, so we're emotionally happy so we can go spend in the mall, you know what I mean? And
It's a big, you know, but
perfect storm. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry to cut you off, but to the point that it was, first and foremost, it's very easy to avoid like certain things. My grandmother always tell me, one hand can clap. So if you know a conversation is going left, sideways, or whatever, you can easily just count to 10 and say, "Oh, is it worth it?" and back out. But to the point of the little girl or teenager or whoever who turned her mother in, there's a couple of scenarios. One is the family white. If the family is white, the mother may very well be a bigot, and the daughter interact with other people and see her visiting that area at that time for what it is because of what was said in house or around those people, pissed off and say, "Mom, you're racist, you're bigot," and turn her in on that level. On the other end, the destruction of family has happened. I mean, look at all these nursing homes. We're from Jamaica. Families stay together. Grandma get old. The male sons move their new wives around the family big yard, and they stay within close proximity. There was no such things as you go into a nursing home when you get older.
Come closer to the mic, Mike. Come closer.
Oh, sorry. They create a culture. They have a nanny culture. Nanny take care of the children. So the children are disconnect from the parent, and then you have a culture of parents not really being parents, and like being trying to be friends and shit like that. There's a whole bunch of different scenarios. You know what I'm
People not
saying?
playing their role.
Yeah.
But
Story
even
time.
with that being said, like, you know, everybody has a different idea for how they're gonna conduct their household. But from what I'm hearing, it sounds like there's a general idea around this is something that's being orchestrated through social engineering.
Yeah, except we didn't get John's. We didn't get John's. Let's get John's.
Oh, I was gonna go on the complete fucking superficial note of Christmas just passed. What if she wanted a new iPhone and she didn't get it? So this is a way of retaliation.
That too.
That
Well,
PlayStation.
let me say this because Michael was somewhat on the right. I didn't really go into why she turned the mom in because to me, I just can't fathom turning my mom in um for whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like that's my mother and maybe she does have views that I don't agree with, but I'm not turning her in to be arrested because I may not agree with the way she lives her life as long as she's not harming people.
She went
So,
there with the intent to possibly harm people. What I
well,
mean,
we don't know that though, because everybody that was there did not have the intent to harm. You have to understand that was a protest mixed with people that did have the intent to harm, but everybody that was there was not there for that purpose. And
well, but maybe that's the reason why she turned her in because she knew the intent. I mean, she would have heard planning and talks before.
no, I think it was a personal vendetta because people don't have a real concept of what family is anymore. That's the way I see it. Not everybody, but a large portion of society, you know, they just, and for me, family means a lot to me. I feel like your family is your legacy. Now, quite naturally, there's going to be some people in your family that you probably just can't get along with. But like I said, I mean, what was it? What did her mom do? Did her mom drag a dead body through the door? Like, I don't think it was to the extent that it was worth her turning her into the police, even if she is a bigot. If she didn't do anything to physically harm anybody, I just I don't understand it. It's not something that I would have done, and I guess I'm seeing it through my eyes. But I just feel like people, all in all, a lot of people just don't respect the sanctity of family anymore because culturally, it's not something that is being pushed. You know, in the media, when there is a family on TV, in a lot of cases, it's through the lens of reality TV and people are seeing the dysfunction and people fighting and people cutting each other off and I'm never going to talk to you again. So, you know, to a certain degree, I do feel like it is a little bit of social engineering that is influencing the way families handle each other.
Family is being pushed. They're just being pushed apart. They're being
Right. It's
pushed in
being
different
pushed through the lens
directions.
of the reality TV thing with like the Kardashians and then you see these different housewife shows and all these things and people like I said there's a lot of stuff being projected on social media and through the TV that's giving people a concept of what family should be and I feel like we have to take some accountability because we have to get back to teaching our children what the structure of family is. You know there's still a lot of people that's doing it but for the most part when it's put out there for the world to see, it is being perpetuated in a way and from a standpoint of dysfunction.
Now,
And
now that brings us back to what we were talking about before about the whole privilege thing and about control as well. Like, why are they doing that? Because the media does influence. Like, you can't take that away. Like what you see in front of us and all the images that they put in front of us on a daily basis. Um, the more we get up there in years, the further away we get from the that nuclear family. As a matter of fact, when you talk about nuclear family, when you talk back to the BLM manifesto, they took it off the website now, but you know,
yep.
their objective was to dismantle the nuclear family. Like that was the exact words in there. And the question is, why is that? What is so wrong with the nuclear family? And then when you look at it also, look at the position that the
where does that term even come from?
What is what?
Nuclear family. Like, well, what is that even supposed to mean?
Um, to sum it up, it's basically man, woman, and child.
Hmm.
The basic makeup of family. I mean, that's. I mean, if you have anything to add to it, I'd
I feel
love to
like
hear it.
how does this work?
What happened?
No, John with these computer names. Computer sucks. How does this work? Can't deal.
Sorry.
You know, but I don't know, man. One thing I can tell you though, one thing I can say is that we've covered a lot of topics and we went all the way around the globe and we came back a couple of times and we still
Yeah,
haven't covered it all.
I was at that flip from as above, so below.
Right. And but here's the thing. We have 8 minutes of the show, so we have a decision to make. Are we going to go into overtime with the show? Or are we going to save some of this stuff for the next show and do what we're supposed to do and wrap it up? The good thing about it is we don't have anybody telling us what to do. Because it is Urban Country Films. We are on our own network. We have that kind of control to where if we want to keep going, we can keep, we can definitely keep on going. We're not, it's not that type of scripted thing. Poor John, he's been having so much trouble for the last half hour with these devices.
Yeah, man. Sorry.
Yo,
Okay.
the Asian guy's got the father's having problem with the technology. What the hell is going on?
That is a racist remark, bro.
Uh-oh.
I'm not.
Am I the only one hearing that?
What do you hear?
No.
What are you hearing?
Can you hear?
What are you hearing, John? I mean, Devar.
Am I the only one hearing John kind of sound funny?
Do I sound funny?
What?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
do
you
sound.
sound
Yeah,
funny.
you're a little bit crackling.
But I want to close out on this.
Yeah. Mhm.
Because I think that I think that is very important for us to concentrate on rebuilding the family structure. Yes, families have evolved to many different things in this day and age, but regardless of what your family looks like, if it's nuclear, if it's non-traditional, whatever, we need to get back to the basics of what family is and what family is supposed to be. And, that's supposed to be a security net for you, a network of people that you can depend on. I don't think anybody wants to die old and alone. So, a lot of these things can just be, a lot of these relationships can just be mended with people dropping their egos and being willing to open up that line of communication, because a lot of people have have sabotaged family relationships over minor disagreements. And if we don't begin to open up the doors of communication and be able to talk to each other, we're going to see that not having that structure, not having that backbone is going to prove to be detrimental to us, especially, like I said, especially in these times that we're living in right now. We really need to be concentrating on the importance of family, because something tells me we're going to need our families real soon to get through some pretty challenging times. And
I believe you're right, and we're gonna get to everybody's final thoughts. But before we get to everybody's final thought, I do got to let you guys know, right here on the network, UrbanCountryFilms.com, we have Urban Country Mornings, Monday through Friday. It's that starts at 7 a.m. and ends at 9 a.m. and that's all the way Monday through Friday. And we have Wednesdays. We have For Energy.com. She comes, they ladies come on Wednesday night at 8 o'clock and they discuss topics all across the board. Last night they were talking about why do good girls like bad guys, or some kind of craziness. those ladies, they get into all kinds of different subjects. Right following them, we have Solutions with Michael. Michael is right here on the panel. Michael airs at 9 o'clock on Solutions, and this is solutions for our people. It's
Yep.
just what it says, solutions.
Finding solutions to issues we face
And
as a people.
Then Sunday night we have Shelly Speaks Truth. Right, Sunday evenings at 5 o'clock. Shelly.